and then have a roll call.
Roll call vote for Planning Commission meeting for January 12, 2023. Bedden.
Here.
Brooks.
Present.
Hart.
Here.
Haynes. Commissioner Haynes. Hodge.
Here.
Latour.
Here.
McDonald.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Vickers.
Present.
And Vogel. Here. We have a quorum.
Great. May we have nominations for, do we want to do vice chair and then chair, or does it matter? Well, I guess we'll open the floor for nominations for chair and vice chair.
Well, I nominate Dr. Benton, but I would suggest you do them in two separate.
It's hard to hear you, Commissioner Latour.
Pardon?
It's hard to hear you. Can we turn him up, Brad?
I would nominate Dr. Benton, but I would also suggest that you do it in two separate motions, doing the chairman first.
Great, so let's have nominations for chair. Did you nominate
one.
Dr. Benton?
I did.
I second that.
Second that motion.
Okay, hearing no other nominees, can we have a vote?
Bedden.
Yes.
Excuse me. Brooks.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Haynes. Hodge.
Yes.
Latour.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Vickers.
Yes.
And Vogel.
Yes.
Dr. Bedden has been elected to chair.
And Haynes is here. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, are we going to
Do I
allow?
hand the gavel to him for the next motion? All right. Switch seats.
We'll take now nominations for vice chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Derek Brooks, please.
Okay. Commissioner Brooks, any other nominations? We'll call for a vote.
I'd like to nominate Alicia McDonald.
Repeat that again, please.
I'd like to nominate Alicia McDonald.
Alicia McDonald, okay. Any other nominations? All right, all those.
I would like to nominate Kat Hodge.
Kat Hodge. Okay, Kat Hodge, Commissioner McDonald, Commissioner Brooks. Are there any other nominations? Okay, let's call for a vote.
Hang on. Mr. Chair, do you want to vote on each one separately, or do you want to go to each commissioner and have them tell who they're voting for?
Each one separately.
Okay. So the first vote will be for Commissioner Brooks.
Commissioner Brooks, go ahead. Voice vote.
All right. Bedden. This vote is for Commissioner Brooks as vice chair. Bedden.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Haynes.
Yes.
Hodge.
No.
Latour.
Yeah.
McDonald.
No.
Thomas?
No.
Sorry, it's inaudible, Commissioner Thomas. Can you repeat that?
No, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. I heard you that time. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right. Vickers?
Like all three, but yes for Brooks.
And Vogel?
Yes.
All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yeses and 3 nos for Commissioner Brooks as vice chair. Move on to McDonald, please, when you're ready.
I'm sorry. You have a clear majority for Brooks, correct?
Correct. I have 7, 3.
Yes. So there's not a reason to go to vote for the other two. Yes, so Brother Brooks is vice chair.
Yes. We're now going to take the vote for Commissioner McDonald for vice chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Bedden?
No?
Brooks?
No.
Hart? No. Haynes?
No.
Hodge?
No.
Latour?
No.
McDonald?
No.
Thomas?
Yes.
Vickers? And Vogel?
No.
1 yes, 9 no's. Excuse me, 8. Two. Nine, yes. 9 no's, 1 yes. We're ready now to move to Commissioner Hodge. Bedden?
No?
Brooks?
No.
Hart? No. Haynes?
No.
Hodge?
Yes.
Latour?
No.
McDonald?
Yes.
Thomas?
No.
Vickers?
No.
And Vogel?
No.
Okay.
I got 8 no's, 2 yeses. Brooks is elected the vice chair, and Bedden is elected the chair for this year Planning Commission.
Thank you. Give me a second.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to do a virtual round of applause for our outgoing chairman. He did a great job, and we appreciate it.
Yes.
Second that.
I second that as well.
Same for the vice chair. Now the chair.
Have the minutes for the last meeting?
Yes.
Motion?
Yes.
And walk me through this, okay? I've been looking at every meeting, but I might need some help tonight.
Yeah. Now you'll just call for a motion for approval of the December minutes.
Yes. For motion for the December minutes.
Motion for the December minutes with staff approval.
Second.
Comments and conditions.
Second.
Okay?
We'll have a roll call vote for last month's minutes. Bedden?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Haynes?
Yes.
Hodge?
Yes.
Latour?
Yes.
McDonald?
Yes.
Thomas?
I wasn't at the last meeting, so should I be voting on the minutes? Or should I just abstain from voting?
No, Commissioner Thomas, you can vote on the minutes.
Okay, well then, yes.
Vickers? And Vogel?
Yes.
Minutes approved unanimously.
I'll have the reading for the consent agenda.
Following is the consent agenda for the Little Rock Planning Commission, January 12th, 2023. You have 5 items on consent deferral. First is item A, file number Z5502J, West Canis Storage Revised PDC, west of 17301 Canis Road. The applicant submitted a letter to staff on December 22nd requesting this application be deferred to the February 9th agenda. Staff supports that request. Item B, Z7939, Love Family Care Facility, Special Use Permit, 5918 Drexel Avenue. The applicant failed to send the correct notice form to surrounding property owners as required. Therefore, the application needs to be deferred to the February 9th agenda. Item number 4, Z9747, York Accessory Dwelling, Conditional Use Permit, 319 South Valmar Street. The applicant submitted a letter to staff on December 29th requesting the application be deferred to the February 9th agenda. Staff supports that request. Item number 6, Z9746, Rivera Event Center, Conditional Use Permit, 7521 Geyer Springs Road. The applicant failed to send the correct notice form to surrounding property owners as required. Therefore, the application needs to be deferred to the February 9th agenda. Item number 9, Z9535A, Ranch Creek Townhomes, PDR, west side of Tully Cove, north of 16100 Cantrell Road. The applicant submitted a letter to staff on January 11th requesting this application be deferred to the February 9th agenda. Staff supports the deferral request. However, the applicant, Brian Dale, who is here today, will need to come to the podium and request the deferral based on the fact that it was made less than 5 working days prior to today's meeting.
Brian Dale with Joe White and Associates representing the applicant on this application. We recently met with the neighbors and we'd like to defer to the February meeting so that we can work with the neighbors on revising our application. We would like to respectfully request a deferral.
Okay. Request has been made. Does that require a motion? No. Okay, accept it.
Okay, next are the items on consent approval. Item number 1, file number S867R9, lots 1 through 3, track 3, Chenal Valley, preliminary plat, east side of Chenal Parkway, south of Chenal Valley Drive. Staff recommends approval of the requested preliminary plat and advanced grading variance subject to the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D and E and the staff analysis of the agenda staff report. Item number 2, G23486, alley right-of-way abandonment, Block 16, Gibraltar Heights Edition. Staff recommends approval of the requested alley right-of-way abandonment subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraph E and the staff analysis of the agenda staff report. Item number 3, G23487, alley right-of-way abandonment, Block 176, original City of Little Rock. Staff recommends approval of the partial alley right-of-way abandonment subject to compliance with the comments and conditions noted in paragraph E and the staff analysis of the agenda staff report. Item number 5, Z4243D, I-630 Business Park LLC, revised conditional use permit, 1200 John Barrow Road. Staff recommends approval of the requested CUP subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs E and F and the staff analysis of the agenda staff report. We are moving items 7, 7.1, 8, and 8.1 to the regular agenda. The final item on consent approval is item number 10, Z9749, Art Space PCD, southwest corner of East 7th and College Streets. Staff recommends approval of the requested PCD zoning subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F and the staff analysis of the agenda staff report. That concludes the consent agenda.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as read.
I move we approve the consent agenda, including all staff comments and conditions.
Second.
It's a roll call vote. Bed,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Haynes,
Yes.
Hodge,
Yes.
Latour,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Vickers,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Minutes have been approved unanimously.
If your item was on the consent agenda and you're here, you don't have to stay for the balance of the meeting. Your item's been approved. Thank you for your presence. We move to the regular agenda. The first item will be LU 2023-1201.
The first item, we can take them in any order you wish. The first item on the list is item C.
See? Okay.
You want to do that one first?
Yes, let's do that first.
Okay. Item C, file number Z9731, Bernie A. Short-Term Rental, PDC, located at 208 Cherokee Circle. The applicant proposes to rezone the 0.31 acre property located at 208 Cherokee Circle from R2 to PDC to allow use of the property as a short-term rental with a maximum stay of 14 days. The owner will not reside in the residence. The entire residence will be rented as one unit. The property contains a one-story brick and wood structure. The driveway is located on the east side of the property along Cherokee Circle, leading to a garage. The paved driveway extends from Cherokee Circle and provides 4 parking spaces. Staff feels that the parking will be sufficient to serve the proposed use. The applicant notes that meals will not be provided to guests with and that there will be standard trash pickup through the City of Little Rock trash collection. The applicant is not proposing any signage at this time. However, any signage must comply in the future to Section 36551 of the city zoning ordinance, and this is signs allowed in residential 1 and 2 family zones. Staff does not support the requested PDC rezoning. Staff does not believe the request is reasonable and the proposed commercial use is not appropriate for this location. The property is designated as RL, residential low density, on the city's future land use plan and is bordered in all directions by single-family homes. Staff believes the introduction of a commercial short-term rental will be out of character with the overall area, and staff believes this type of short-term rental would be more appropriately located on the outer edge of a single-family subdivision in a more transitional area, not in the center of a single-family neighborhood. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the requested PDC rezoning.
Is the applicant here? Approach the podium and identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Nina Rodriguez. I am actually here on behalf of my parents, who are the applicants, who are currently in Connecticut. You'll have to forgive me because this is my first meeting of this kind. I can tell you that they purchased the home mainly to spend time with their grandchild, who is my daughter. They're planning on living in the home about 3 months out of the year, and really the short-term rental is just to offset the cost of having a second home. We plan on limiting the guests to only 4 guests at a time.
Excuse me, if I can
yes.
stop you for a minute.
Sure.
Gentlemen, can y'all go out in the hallway and discuss that? Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. So, yeah, the plan was to limit the guests to 4 guests at a time. The listing, if we move forward with it, will say that there are no parties or large gatherings allowed, and that a quiet time, I think it was 9 or 10, would be in effect. So, our intention is not to do this as something where we're making money. My parents are retired and they're just trying to recoup some of the cost of having a second home where they can visit their granddaughter.
Okay, I don't believe we have any cards against this. Would any commissioner have any questions?
Do you know if the neighbors have been notified of what's,
Yeah, so per y'all's instructions, we sent out certified letters notifying everyone, and we also posted the special use permit in the window for the last couple of months or something like that.
okay.
I have a question. Were you all the owners of the property? Back in 2002, there were some concerns about large gatherings and issues with parking.
No, ma'am. My parents bought the place a little over 2 years ago, like I said, to spend time with their grandchild, and I was also having some health issues that they came down to help with, so.
Are there any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. Oh, go ahead, whoever was,
Commissioner Vickers?
This Commissioner Thomas.
go ahead,
Sorry, did I
Commissioner
interrupt you?
Thomas.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Commissioner
Go ahead,
Thomas.
Commissioner Thomas.
It was piggybacking off of Commissioner Kay that just spoke. The parking is what, because this property sits on the corner, correct?
Yes,
At the
ma'am.
beginning of the circle. Yeah, and where would the guests be parking? Would it be street parking? Because I didn't see a driveway or anything over there.
Yeah, there's a driveway, and you can really park up to 4 cars in the driveway. So, it's too wide, and then you could fit a max of 4 cars in the driveway.
Is that driveway located in the back?
Yeah, so it's located right next to the garage, but it's kind of funny because you're on that, the garage is kind of, and the back door is what you see first.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I must have, okay. When I looked at the area, it looked like that driveway belonged to the neighbors. So that belongs to that property.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's the only question I had too as well.
Any other commissioner have any questions?
Yes, Chairman, this is Commissioner Vickers. I had a quick question. She stated she had some rules or things that she would follow, like cutoff time of 9 or 10 p.m. and some other rules that there will be only up to 4 guests. Is there a full updated outline of these rules that you have? And are those rules temporary or is that permanent as long as you have this short-term rent?
So there was a posting, so my parents rented it out briefly before we knew that was not allowed until we had a permit. So there is an Airbnb posting that has all of the house rules on it. Those are, permanent rules and they are on the listing. It's something where I don't want to degrade the character of the neighborhood or, turn it into something where it's a commercial thing and there's lots of people coming and going. So, that's any sort of advice or requests made by neighbors or you all to update the rules and or change them, we would happily do.
Other questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, it's Mr. Latour, Commissioner Latour. My worry is they're in Connecticut. The house is rented here. Somebody has a nice party on a Saturday night. Who's to enforce these rules?
So we have a local host whose job it is to kind of manage that. And then my husband and my daughter also all live locally. And so in the past, when there have been issues, I'm happy to respond to that.
Thank you.
We ready for a motion? Don't forget the motion for is an affirmative for the application.
So I move to approval of an item Z9731, including all staff comments and conditions, except the recommendation of denial.
Second.
Okay, moved to seconded, ready for the vote?
Roll call vote. Benton?
No?
Brooks?
Yes.
Hart?
No.
Haynes?
Yes.
Hodge?
Yes.
Latour?
No.
McDonald?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Vickers?
Yes.
Vogel,
No.
6 yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 noes. The motion passes.
Your motion passed.
Is that the good outcome?
That's a good outcome
Okay.
for you.
We go to the board next.
The next item, was it Z 9535A?
Yes, sir. Item 7 and 7.1, you can hear those at the same time. Mr. Malone will present item 7, and then as soon as he's done, I'll present item 7.1. You can discuss them at the same time, and then take a separate vote on each item.
If you could put up the land use sketch.
What's that again?
Thank you. My name is Walter Malone, Planning Commission staff, Chair and Commissioners. I'll be speaking about the Land Use Plan Amendment, which is a request to change the Land Use Plan Amendment to from RL, which is residential low, to RM, which is residential medium. Residential low is up to 6 units per acre. Residential medium is up to 12 units per acre. So that's the density change in between the two classifications. They're both residential. The subject site's on the north side of Mableville Pike, as can be seen in the sketch here. There are single-family houses abutting it on 2 sides, part of a developed subdivision, and a small apartment complex of 24 units, 3 buildings on the west side of the property. Across the street is heavily wooded, undeveloped tract of property. The subject property has been vacant for several years now. At one time, there were structures on this property. In the general area, there haven't been any new permits for construction of any kind of residential at any density since for the last decade plus. Today, the site itself is very well maintained, and so are the adjacent properties are well maintained, both residential and multifamily properties. When you drive down this portion of Mableville Pike, it does have a residential feel to most people. It's predominantly residential. There are a couple of churches not too far away from this site, but generally it's residential and at some density. The non-residential development tends to be down close to the freeway or along University Avenue, and then the land use plan and the zoning pattern both propose lesser intensity of uses until you get to the single family uses of RL north of Mableville Pike. Again, in this general area, there's been no real residential activity except for renovations and a few additions. So there is available at multiple density land for all densities in the general area. The staff feels like this is an appropriate change because the single family that does abut it is all rear relationship, and there will be no way for this development to connect to the existing single family. And there's that larger, more dense multifamily to the immediate west, and actually their parking lot for that multifamily is what's immediately adjacent to this property. So because of that, and because there still will be available for residential at low density as well as medium and high, we feel like an increase in density just to residential mid-density would be appropriate.
Mr. Chair, item 7.1, file number Z9702A. This is a rezoning from R2 to R4, 7401 Mableville Pike. The applicant proposes to rezone this 1.35 acre property at 7204 Mableville Pike from R2 to R4, which is single family district, to a 2-family district to allow for the future development of duplexes. The property is currently undeveloped, grass-covered, and contains several mature trees along the property lines. Properties to the north and east contain R2 zoning and uses. The abutting property to the west is zoned R2, is non-conforming with 3 detached multifamily buildings containing 8 units each. Properties south of Mableville Pike contain R2 and MF18 zoning. Staff is supportive of the requested rezoning from R2 to R4 to allow future development of two-family residences. Staff views the request as a minor increase in density, which should create only a minor increase in traffic in the immediate area. An existing non-conforming multifamily use abuts the property to the west. Surrounding properties are zoned MF18 and PRD, and there is an existing higher density, which is R6, zoning located to the southeast. Staff feels the R4 zoning is consistent with the development pattern within the neighborhood and that it will have no adverse impact on the area. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the requested R4 rezoning.
Is the applicant present?
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Brian Dale with Joe White and Associates. We and the applicant are here this evening. We would like to let the opposition speak, hear what their concerns are, and then follow up with the remainder of our time.
They would speak if they were here, sir. I have no cards, written cards. Okay, I apologize. The former chairman just surprised me. Troy Lax, did I pronounce that correct? Late? Okay.
You didn't pronounce it correctly.
I'm sorry. Pronounce it correctly for me, sir.
I was always told it was Leahy, long A's, whatever that means. I'm Troy Leahy, and I'm Vice President of Southwest Little Rock United for Progress. We're in opposition to this because we think he's kind of overbuilding, and the people that have built those homes out there, put them in, went out there because of the view. And if you come in with a multi-story bomb, it's going to block their view. And that's the main reason that if they're coming in with single family, we'd be fine, but multi-family and higher and multi-story, which could be, and that's the reason that we're opposed to it. Thank you.
Thank you. You may come back to the podium.
As the commission may recall, we first came in with a rezoning to go to MF12. There was concerns about the density and that it was going to be too many units, and I believe we withdrew the application before that was ever voted on. The client visited with some of the neighbors, and he's back before you for an RF zoning, which is less density. He is willing to commit that he will build 4 duplexes or 8 total units on the 1.35 acres, which is a density of just less than 6 units to the acre. It'll be, I would say, comparable to the development next door, except that he's going to have less units than the existing development next door. We are here to answer any questions that staff or commissioners may have.
Any commissioner have questions on the applicant? Commissioner Brooks.
Have the applicant spoken with the association, neighborhood association, regarding the matter?
Introduce yourself first.
My name is Herman Jimenez, and no, I have not. I've spoken with some of the neighbors, but not directly to the association.
Thank you.
Are there other questions from commissioners?
One quick question, Mr. Chair. Is it multi-story?
No, one
No,
story.
it's not multi-story, is it? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, one point of clarification. The term multifamily was used in describing this proposed zoning. The zoning ordinance has categories of residential development or residential zoning. You have single-family zoning, two-family zoning, and then multifamily, all the various multifamily districts. And this is two-family zoning, not multifamily.
Thank you for that clarification. Call for a motion.
I move that we approve the item Z 9702-A, including all staff comments and conditions.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call for a vote.
Roll call vote. Benton.
Yes?
Brooks.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Haynes.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Couture.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Vickers.
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
Unanimous, approved.
Next item?
Thank you.
Now you'll need to do a separate vote on item 7.1.
We'll entertain a motion for, wait a minute, for 7.1.
Is it the LU 20,
I think it means item 7.
item 7,
What was your motion for on the first one?
7.1?
Okay, so now you'll do a separate vote on 7 then?
Yes, we need a motion for 7. Yes. Yes, sir.
I move we approve all, let me start over. I move for approval for all items LU 2023-12-01, including all staff comments and conditions.
Second.
We moved and seconded. Let's call for a vote.
Benton.
Yes?
Brooks.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Haynes.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Couture.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Vickers.
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Our next item. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Malone will again present item number 8, and then I'll present item 8.1.
Okay. Mr. Malone?
If you could pull up the future land use plan map, please. Mr. Chair and Planning Commission, again, my name is Walter Malone from the planning staff. The site in question is at the corner of Shackelford and Colonel Glenn, the northwest corner. This is a site which historically had residential, which has been removed from the site. It's currently vacant land. It's shown on the land use plan as service trades. In this general area, the area south of Colonel Glenn was originally shown mostly as light industrial. Many years ago, some of that's been rolled back, and then north of Colonel Glenn was shown as service trades. That's why you have the office warehouse showroom to the northwest and to the northeast and to the west of this site, as well as a mini warehouse to the north. Those are all uses which are usually considered appropriate in service trades districts. So the request here is to change this to commercial. Currently the major commercial on the land use plan is the interchange, which is just to the west of this site. A large portion of this commercial area at that interchange is already developed. So there is still some undeveloped property, but the majority of it is developed. In this general area, most of the building permits for new development have been commercial. The ones that have been more service trades or light industrial in type or have been to the south of Colonel Glenn within the light industrial area. The light industrial area still has a significant amount of vacant, undeveloped land. There's also, if this area is changed to commercial, there would still be service trades, vacant land available on the east side of Shackelford and also further to the north on the other side of the new apartments that are being constructed to the north of this development. So there would still remain service trades on the land use plan, And there, you could build service trades type uses in light industrial also. Since there seems to be more demand for commercial in the area, and since the predominant area of commercial is mostly developed, we are supportive of changing this, at this intersection, the land use plan from service trades to commercial.
Thank you.
With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Moore.
Does any commissioner have any questions? I'm going to make sure no one has any questions. Okay, seeing none, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, item 8.1, file number Z9748. This is the rezoning application from R2 to C4, 10,400 through 10,414 Colonel Glen Road. The applicant is proposing to rezone this 4.92 acre property from R2 Single Family District to C4 Open Display District to allow future commercial development. The property is currently undeveloped. The site is located within an area along Colonel Glen Road, which is becoming more commercial in nature due to its proximity to Interstate 430. I-1, I-2, C3, and PCD zone properties are located to the northeast and west, northeast, west, and south of the site. Mostly R2 zone residential properties border the east side across Shackelford Road and to the southwest across Colonel Glen Road. Staff is supportive of the requested C4 zoning. Staff views the request as reasonable. The proposed C4 zoning will be consistent with other commercial zonings along Colonel Glen Road and will represent a continuation of the existing zoning and use pattern in this particular area. The properties immediately adjacent to this site, again, are currently I-1, I-2, and PCD, and staff believes the C4 zoning will have no adverse impact on the general area, and therefore staff recommends approval of the requested C4 rezoning.
Is the applicant present? You can state your name and address us.
Hello, my name is Brian Winstead. I'm a commercial broker with Realty Arkansas Commercial, and I represent the owner of the property. And I would like to defer my time till after we hear the objections.
I don't have any cards of anyone objecting. Troy.
I believe it was the gentleman.
Hold 1 second. I may be incorrect. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I do have one. Mr. Leahy.
I'm Troy Leahy. I'm Vice President of Southwest Little Rock United for Progress. And we're objecting to the open display part of that. We don't have any problem with being commercial C3, but it's a C4 that kicked it, as far as we're concerned in our area. And that's the only objection we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, as required, we did notify all the property owners within 200 feet of the boundary of the property. I did hear from a commercial firm that represents the property to the west, which is warehouse property, and they also represent the property to the north, the mini storage, and neither one of those were in objection to the C4 zoning. I also spoke to the property owner directly to the east across the street from South Shackelford on that northeast corner. He also had no objection to the rezoning. And when I did a search for land for sale, C4 land for sale, I saw none to the east side of 430. And the properties I saw to the west side of 430 that were C4, there's some up around where Top Golf is going in, but the property cost is so high, it would deter most developers. It's $18 to $19 per square foot. And a lot of that is because of the expense they've had to spend on the dirt work up there to level that property. The only other property I know of that's C4 on the west is some around Colonel Glen Plaza Loop. There's 5 acres, but it is unpriced. And what is happening is we have no sewer west of the Colonel Glen and Bowman intersection. There's some at the warehouse on the northwest corner. That's where sewer stops down Colonel Glen. Down Lawson Road, it stops at the Dollar General. So what that's causing is a backflow of development to the east on Colonel Glen, and actually on the east side of 430, which I think is a positive thing because a lot of that property has been dormant for years. So, we're just asking that you guys approve. The staff recommends the approval, and we would just like you to support the approval as well.
Thank you. I'll entertain any questions from commissioners. There being none, I'll call for a motion.
I move for the approval of item Z, 9748, including all staff comments and conditions.
Second.
Be moved and seconded for the approval. Ready for the roll call vote?
Benton,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Haynes,
Yes.
Hodge,
Yes.
Latour,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Vickers,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Need a motion for this next one?
Yes.
All right. I move for approval for item LU 2023-11-01, including all staff comments and conditions.
Second.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded for the approval. Ready for the roll call vote?
Benton,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Haynes,
Yes.
Hodge,
Yes.
Latour,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Vickers,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item is item 9.
That concludes the regular agenda. The only thing left on your agenda is citizen communication, if anyone is here to address the commission.
Okay. Question. I'm sorry, I had to clarify something. Citizen communication, any citizen of the city like to come and address the planning commission? Okay, thank you. We finished all the agenda today? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved and seconded.
Second.
Okay, let's have a voice vote of yes.
Yes.
Yes.